How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Timeless Movie Podcast, episode number 29. My name is Victor Vasquez. Appreciate everybody coming back and listening to another episode where we try to cover a new movie that we just watched either in theaters or streaming, and we try to determine, hey, is this a movie that I can watch over and over again in the future? Maybe I can just sit down and maybe I'm just feeling it. Maybe I feel like watching a scary movie. Maybe I feel like watching an action movie, maybe a superhero movie. Whatever that might be, we try to determine here and go through a quick review and then again give off the highlights as to why I, in my personal opinion, think that this would be a timeless movie. For this week's episode, we're going to be covering the newly released film by Jordan Peele, Nope. This film came out, I believe, on July 21st. I went to go see it on opening night. So we'll be covering a little bit about what I thought overall about the film. Did I think it was scary? And all the different types of stuff that we usually talk about on this podcast. First things first, I want to cover some of the questions or thoughts I had before I went to go watch Nope in theaters. First thing is, what is going to be the crazy twist of the film? If you have seen other prior films of Jordan Peele, he has a film called Get Out as well as Us. I haven't seen Us, but I have heard that it has a crazy twist, so hopefully I'll eventually be able to watch that one as well. But really, most of Jordan Peele's films and stories, what they try to do is really suck you in to how interesting they are. And then as you're kind of getting your mind wrapped around what this story is about, the characters, what's going to happen, boom, there's like a crazy twist that ends up happening that you were not expecting, and then it completely changes the direction of where the film is going to go now. And for me, for Get Out, it was a great twist. But now that we're kind of into a new film, this is the third film in Jordan Peele's whole director's resume, I guess. Now we have to get an understanding of what is this twist going to be in Nope. So far from the trailers that we have seen, it seems like it's going to be revolving around a specific group of people dealing with UFOs, aliens. And so you're like, okay, what kind of a twist are we going to see there? How is he going to make it scary so that you can kind of get very much in that same kind of atmosphere as the actual cast is, How can you get that scared by seeing a specific UFO flying around the sky? So always kind of curious, and I always want to see what is that twist going to be, and am I going to be able to predict it, or is it just going to be out of left field as well? Transitioning over, I wanted to mention that the trailers do show a little bit about UFOs or people looking up to the sky. So then my next question is this more of a misdirect? Maybe the film has nothing to do with UFOs or aliens or something completely different entirely. I have no clue what else it could be, but I can see that being something very sneaky where Jordan Peele is really just trying to throw off the misdirect. Everybody's just calling this like a UFO or alien movie. Again, maybe it's not anything like that. Maybe it's something that's completely different, that's just trying to terrorize the main characters and the town of what it looks like in this Nope film as well. But again, that misdirect, he could be leading everybody off, and it'd be really cool if it was that as well. Next thing I like to think about, again, is because most of the films that Jordan Peele has made have been in that horror genre. So the next thought I have is, how scary is this movie going to be, and how many jump scares are there going to be? Jordan Peele has, again, stated that the horror genre is one of his favorites, and each movie he has put out, there's been various elements of fear and horror, but not to make it too overbearing, right? Not to make it something like The Exorcist or any other kind of scary film that you could see, like Saw. A lot of other films try to add in the gore, and they try to add in like the supernatural elements of it. Jordan Peele's more of like the realistic approach of life, like the scary things that could go on there, more of like a thriller. And then he kind of gives you that twist as well. But he adds so much variety into those films that, again, I think he cares more about the story rather than kind of scaring folks, but he'll still try to include those horror elements in there as well. So really good balance, really good combination. So really interested to see, again, how he can kind of deliver on this film. Now, there have been various different films that include aliens and try to make them scary, such as Signs. But the majority of those, again, they're other than Signs, which was a good movie, other than those, there are not many, really good alien movies that are scary. So let's hope that this one can be one of those exceptions that can at least kind of stand out and be a very complete different horror film that just kind of gets everybody on the edge of their seats, but really enjoying themselves as well as they're watching the story unfold. All right, guys, that was really my thoughts and questions as to what to expect before watching Nope. Now that I've actually seen the movie, let's go ahead and jump into my detailed thoughts about the film. Again, very light spoilers about what is going to be happening throughout the film. But again, I'll try not to go too deep. That way, again, if nobody's seen it and they really just want to get a sense as to what this film is about, again, hopefully this will give you a good idea and a good senses as to, oh yeah, like this is something maybe I would want to watch. I went to go watch this again on opening night, July 21st, Thursday. I went with my brother and sister to go watch it at a Dolby Cinema. I needed to watch this on the biggest screen possible. That wasn't IMAX. Don't really like going always to go see an IMAX movie, but I really wanted to get that experience of surround sound and a big screen. That way it can really just elevate the film for me. And boy, did I make the right decision. Nope was an awesome movie. The story was so intriguing, and like I mentioned in the prior segment, it just traps you into thinking it's going one way, and then all of a sudden, you're dropped into another part of the story because of the crazy twist that ends up happening. So your whole thought process of what you had already seen up to this point, like maybe you had gone through the first act and the second act of the movie, and then when the twist happens at the beginning of the third act, then you're like, okay, now I can kind of think back and be like, oh, that's why that happened to this character, or that's why it makes a little bit more sense. And so really good stuff. I had a great time. Again, I'm not going to try to spoil it too much for folks that have not seen the movie, but the story revolves around characters named OJ and Emmy, or Emerald, played by David Kaluuya and Keke Palmer. OJ and Emmy are brother and sisters, and they're trying to run their father's business. It's the Haywood's Hollywood Horses, or maybe Hollywood Haywood's Horses. I don't remember quite clearly, but it is a company that basically trains horses for films and commercials. Soon, both OJ and Emmy start kind of getting wrapped in a weird phenomenon where they begin to see flying saucers around their ranch where they, again, take care of these horses. They don't understand where this flying saucer is coming from, why it's appearing, but they try to take advantage and get the money shot. Anybody that doesn't know, again, the money shot is the perfect visual representation of some type of phenomena that not a lot of people have evidence for. And so they're trying to capture a perfect, clean shot of this flying saucer that's coming over their ranch as well. Now, in doing this, obviously they have to kind of, again, prove that aliens are real and try to get some fame and money out of it. But once they start getting closer and closer to this unidentified flying object, the more dangerous the situation gets. And then finally, we get to see the truth behind what is really haunting OJ and Emmy and their ranch. Again, it is this flying saucer, where is it coming from? Is it aliens? I'm not going to spoil that, but it just kind of throws you a curveball after you kind of find out what is the thing that's really haunting them, because it really just starts converting into a different type of story. First, the focus is on, hey, let's try to capture this weird, unexpected, and unique element of our life right now, which is this flying saucer, and then eventually becomes to, now it's really them facing off against this flying saucer. Now it's kind of like, how are we going to survive this? Props to the cast of the film, because they did a great job to make certain scenes believable. Whenever David Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, also Steven Yeun and Brendan Perea, there are also other actors that came out in this film, they would look up and they would see the flying saucer and they would have this look on their face that's full of terror. They couldn't comprehend whether it was real or not, but it just added to the film and it made it seem like there was actually something in the sky. And again, that kind of, great acting makes it even easier as an audience member to know, okay, anytime they look up, it's serious. There's something up there like that you need to pay attention to. And if you're, when you least expect it, something crazy could happen as well. Another awesome element that I really enjoyed was the sound design of the film. Whether it was the score that would play during jump scares or the sound of the unidentified flying object as it began to suck up people from the ground, it all sounded so epic and just really added a very important piece to every scene of the film. I don't know if it's better than the sound of Top Gun. To me, I think that the sound design of Top Gun was the best so far this year. Even though I feel like the score and the sound of the Batman was amazing, I think you can't beat those like fighter jets that came out in Top Gun, the way that they kind of showed off and it made it sound like if you were in the cockpit. So that to me, I think is still the top level of 2022 in regards to sound design. But I think Nope did a really great job in showing again the sound of what an alien ship would look like. Just the way that it all kind of the sounds of the town made in this film. It was just really cool. It's up there. I just don't know if I have it over Top Gun at this very moment. Overall, I had a great time watching this movie. The story is just such a mystery. And again, watching everything unfold makes it even more enjoyable. That's pretty much my bias though. I like to kind of come into a movie without any expectations and without even really knowing what the heck is going on. Now, again, that's just me. A lot of folks out there that watch movies, they kind of want to know ahead of time, like, what am I getting myself into? Me, again, opposite. I'd rather not know anything about what who these characters are, what this movie's about, and then kind of just figure it out on my own. And I think that's why these films just really call to me, or not call to me, but really why I connect with them so much is just the fact that, again, I'm trying to kind of go through Jordan Peele's vision and see, okay, what is really going on? Is this really about them trying to get this money shot of the UFO, or is this something else entirely? Just to kind of give off a good sense as to what I feel like this film relates to me, it reminds me a lot about a typical monster or creature movie. Couple ones that come off the top of my head after I watched it was like the movie Anaconda or Jaws or even Jurassic Park, where the cast is trying to figure out a way to deal with a predator and they're trying to survive. For anyone that has seen the movie, let me know if you agree with that. That's just something that I thought of when I got out of the movie. Again, reminding me of like specifically a cast or a group of folks in the movie trying to work around and solve the puzzle of this specific predator and trying to, again, see how they can escape, if they're stuck with this predator, and what they end up doing at the end of the film. Let me know down in the comments below if you agree with that, my kind of consensus about this film. Also, one of the things that I appreciated was that the film is actually pretty straightforward with really good pace. It contains various different jump scares, and that almost got me as well. So that's, I think, another thing that I appreciated is that the jump scares were just placed at a perfect time, and it almost got me while I was watching the movie. I actually enjoyed the horror of this movie a little bit better than Black Phone. Black Phone was another one that I had seen. I haven't done a review for it, but hopefully I'll post it up soon. I really enjoyed the film Black Phone with Ethan Hawke. And something about it, again, that one had a lot of suspense, but this Nope film just kind of, again, not knowing exactly what this film is about, I think adds to this suspense and the actual thrill of going to see this movie and watching this story kind of take place. And so just by a little bit, I would say that this had, again, a little bit better jump scares and horror than Black Phone. But again, not taking anything away from Black Phone, because I thought that was a great film as well. Nope also had a really good mix of comedic scenes, which is right up Jordan Peele's alley. Again, he's shown that he's really a master of sprinkling in some really good jokes, but he knows when to throw those out there, and then he knows when to kind of revert back into, boom, this horror element. Here's a jump scare. And so it's a really good combination. Again, a really good balance, and I just enjoyed it all the way through. Final words for me is this movie's awesome. I really had a fun time watching it, and again, it's something that really just kind of stuck out to me as very different, but I at least appreciated that I went to go see it in Dolby Cinema as well. All right, everybody, those were my thoughts overall about the film. Again, I try to keep it very light on the spoiler side of it. That way, if you guys haven't seen it, hopefully that gives you a good sense as to what it is about if you didn't get that understanding through the trailers or anything else as well. Now I kind of want to pivot over to my favorite actress's performance that I really enjoyed. Again, I got to give a shout out to everybody on the cast for Nope. They did a really awesome job. But I really enjoyed the performance of Keke Palmer as Emmy. She played the character with so much charisma and energy. What I've noticed about myself is, and if you can't really tell, I am very energetic. I talk really fast. So I tend to always gravitate towards characters like that, characters that, again, have this specific charisma about them that you're always trying to, your eyes are always locked onto them because you don't know what they're going to say, but you already kind of feel like, okay, it's going to be either funny or it's going to be very serious. So she just played, again, this character that was very, again, strong, independent, very stubborn. And again, she felt like everything that she would say was real and raw. Everything just came exactly from her mind. There was no filter. And you would believe her. You believe when she was running away from seeing a specific UFO, or when she was talking very serious to her brother OJ. No matter what it was, you had to take her seriously. And again, that just goes into how good of an actress Keke Palmer is. Out of all the characters, Keke had the most runway as well in regards to where she could go with her character. And she really made it her own. Again, she had to be that really fly, really cool, charismatic character at the beginning. But then she also had the leeway to kind of go in and show off that she was really scared, you know? She could put up this kind of wall to show off that she's very confident. But when it comes up against this specific UFO, everything changes, you know? And she showed that on her face. So really awesome job. I really appreciated Keke's whole kind of interpretation of the character of Emmy. Also got to give a special shout out to Brendan Perea, who played Angel. He's actually the guy that ended up helping OJ and Emmy set up their whole camera system. He works at Fry's Electronics, and he's basically trying to help them get that money shot. He provided a lot of comedic relief throughout the film, whether it was trying to find out what OJ and Emmy were doing with these cameras, or even offering his conspiracy theories as he found out what they were trying to do, which is basically try to track down this UFO as well. Really some hilarious moments. So shout out to Brendan Perea, who played Angel. But my favorite performance overall in the film goes to Keke Palmer as Emmy. All right, well, now I want to go ahead and explain my favorite scene or moment of the movie. Spoiler warning here, as I am going to go into a little bit of detail around the film and probably going to spoil a big piece of this. So if you have not seen Nope, please go ahead and like this video, come back, and that way once you do watch the movie in theaters, feel free to come back to this exact spot so you can hear what my favorite moment was. That way, again, I don't spoil it. Or you can go ahead and push forward really a couple of minutes. That way you can just hear my thoughts on whether this film is timeless. Okay, hopefully that gave folks enough time to leave and come back. But my favorite parts of the movie are whenever the UFO, the unidentified flying object, appeared in the movie. I guess since we're in spoiler territory, again, I can finally say what we were actually seeing. And the twist is basically, it is not an alien ship. That's right. You would think that every time I said UFO, you're thinking, okay, well, it's an alien ship. That's exactly what it is. Rather, the twist is that it is a flying alien or animal. So that when I figured that out in the specific movie, or not figured out really, when it explained it to me, I thought it was such a cool way to go about it. Instead of it being about getting a money shot and trying to figure out how you can kind of prove that this is real, it completely shifts the entire kind of focus of the movie. Now it turns it into a monster type of movie, a creature that is there to basically try to terrorize these people. And again, once that was revealed, it just changed the whole perspective on the UFO. You didn't think about aliens anymore. You were thinking about, okay, this is now a predator now, you know? You're seeing a vicious animal that is going to suck up all these different types of humans, horses, whatever it is, and whatever it wants to feed on. And now you're just kind of seeing it in its habitat now. So again, one of the big things that it said was if anybody made any eye contact with this alien creature, then it will basically target them and eat them alive. And one of my favorite moments of the whole film was anytime that alien creature would come out, the way that it used the people that it sucked up or animals that it sucked up as a tool to get even more food. It was such a genius idea. So what it would do is basically after it would suck up, let's say humans or a horse, it wouldn't just kill them and eat them, right? What it would do is basically swallow them up and they're still alive inside that specific alien or creature. And then what it would do is that it would allow the people inside to be able to scream and call for help. And then you would see or hear those sounds, and it would sound like they were near, you know, the OJ or Emmy, but in reality they were inside the ship, and he was just, or not the ship really, the creature. And so he was, that creature was just waiting for the perfect opportunity. And whenever they made any eye contact with that specific alien or creature, they would get immediately sucked up. It was such a, I don't know, to me, it was a great twist. It made me appreciate the film a lot more because, again, it's just that specific way of thinking that your whole life you kind of grew up thinking that, yeah, UFOs is a ship. Well, no, in this movie, it kind of makes it explain that, hey, what if it wasn't a ship? What if it was just a specific creature that we've never just seen this type of creature. Again, we've never seen some of the creatures that are in the ocean, deep down below, but they are alien to us. So it was just a really great way to kind of go about the film, and it just made me just enjoy it after we found out that twist even more as well. Okay, everybody, now that I've kind of spoiled really the big twist of it, so hopefully if you hadn't seen it, hopefully you didn't hear that last segment. Now I want to jump into the next piece of this, which is, would I recommend watching it in theaters or in streaming? All right, I would actually recommend that everybody go out and watch this movie in theaters. I mentioned it in the second segment. I honestly love the sound that they created for this movie. The sound alone is really the reason I would push people to go check it out in theaters. I want people to feel engulfed, like in the surround sound, and it just make that feeling of, you can actually feel like if something is above you, like a UFO, and when it sucks people up, you get that feeling when your chair is rocking. You're like, oh man, like this is amazing. And so that the sound alone is why I would recommend it. Obviously, the story is really good, so it's a great reason to go out and watch this in theaters. Also, when it comes to horror movies, I feel like those types of movies and genre, I think it's better experienced at a theater rather than at home. So again, it has a lot of great jump scares and a lot of great, parts of the movie where it tries to trick you into specific horror elements. So I definitely recommend to kind of go watch those in theaters, because again, it's a greater experience to watch them with other people and get scared. Well, it's funny to see everybody kind of jump up and get scared and scream when there's a jump scare, because again, that's like it's everybody reacting all at once, and it's just so cool. So those are the types of moments that I cherish when I go to AMC or any theater, is just kind of having that experience with everybody else and knowing that, hey, like I got kind of scared, so it makes sense that why everybody else would get scared, and it's just a great way to connect with other people while you're watching a movie. So if you haven't gone to watch Nope, please do so now. Well, everybody, we have gotten to the last segment of the Timeless Movie Podcast, and it's really the most important question. Does this movie have the potential to be timeless? All right, as of today, in my opinion, Nope has the potential to be a timeless movie. Some of the reasons why I think it has that potential is because of the fact of, number one, sound design of the UFO, sound design of overall of the where the environment takes place, and even the score. It just makes this a very much a treat to watch. And not only watch it, obviously, but to listen as well. Because again, it tries to engulf you within that specific story, and there's no escape. Once you're in there, now you kind of just, all you can think about is, okay, when's the next time the UFO is going to come out, or what's the sound it's going to make, or what craziness is going to happen, and how is it going to sound. And so again, this is again more to the point of having folks go to the theaters and watch it. I'm pretty sure it'll kind of diminish as you kind of watch it at home, unless you have a really good surround sound system. But that's really the number one reason why I think this is timeless. Is the sound is, I think it could stack up with a lot of other films that have come out before it. Number two reason is the cast is hilarious, but they step it up when the mystery piece of that film starts unfolding. So again, going back to the balance that Jordan Peele had to have, is having really good moments to kind of laugh and kind of not make it too serious. But then when the actual creature or the alien kind of comes out, that's when you kind of see that serious moments, and everybody kind of just starts stepping up their level to start acting in a very serious way as well. So again, everybody did a great job in this film. Third is visually, the UFO looks super real, and the way it moves across the sky, or how they present it in certain scenes, it just makes it look super scary. Again, that was one of my favorite elements about the movie, is that whenever this flying saucer would come out, it made you just make sure to continue looking at the sky. Even if you didn't know where it was coming, you were always looking at the sky and not looking at the characters, because you wanted to see, okay, where's it going to come out, or where's it going to appear? And when it did appear, it just looked so stunning like that, so epic. I really appreciated the visuals on that film as well. Also, one of the last pieces of why I think it would be timeless is it has a good number of jump scares that are planted specifically in certain scenes really well. It makes it look really awesome to watch this again and again. And even watching it with somebody that hasn't seen it, I think that would make my experience even better, because now you know where the jump scares are coming, but they don't, and so now I'm waiting for their reaction to it. So it's just a lot of fun. The jump scares, again, almost got me. They didn't completely get me to yell or anything like that, but really fun time to watch this. And again, I think I can see myself watching this movie over and over again, and just kind of still enjoying those kind of jump scares and the different types of elements that they showed off for this specific movie. Overall, I'm super happy I went to go watch this movie, but those are my opinions on why I think this film has the potential to be timeless. Let me know what you think about Nope. Have you gone to go see this movie? Did you enjoy it as much as I did? Did you feel like my analogy about maybe this being like a creature movie, like Jaws or Anaconda or Jurassic Park, does that make sense? Let me know down below in the comments, guys. I appreciate everybody being able to come back and listen to another episode. This is a really fun film. So again, I totally recommend everybody go out and watch it as well. All right, guys, my name has been Victor Vasquez. This has been episode number 29 of the Timeless Movie Podcast. Make sure to tune in next week when I roll out another review. This time, it'll be about The Gray Man, coming from Netflix. All right, guys, hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll talk soon.